Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we'll study about hearing loss. Okay, so this is examination of 8th cranial nerve, vestibulocochlear nerve. Vestibulocochlear nerve. Cochlear nerve. Okay, this is 8th cranial nerve. So when we talk about examination of this nerve, we have to assess for vestibule part, which is basically helping maintaining balance, and second thing is cochlear part, which is for hearing. So in this video we'll be talking about only cochlear part examination. Okay, so these are the 4 tests which we use for this thing, hearing loss examination. Okay, so first is Rinne's test. Rinne's test is basically to assess between the bone conduction and air conduction. So these all tests are basically to assess whether we have conductive loss or sensory neural loss. Okay, so Rinne's test, what we do basically, we have to assess bone conduction and air conduction. What that mean? So if the sound waves are coming through pinna, through external ear, it vibrate the tympanic membrane, vibrate the ossicles, and then fluid move in cochlea and a neural stimulation occur. So if this is the pathway, this is air conduction. Okay, and if we just attach some vibrating thing on bone and via bony surface, the cochlea, the movement of fluid in cochlea happen and stimulate the nerve, that is called bone conduction. Okay, so we have to hear, using Rinne's test, we have to differentiate between bone conduction and air conduction. Okay, at last of the video we'll try to explore, we'll try to assess using some conditions of positive and negative these 2 tests, and how we assess whether which type of loss is there at last of the video. Okay, first we will see the theory, then we'll perform the test, and then we'll see the theory part again to differentiate between 2 type of loss. Okay, so here basically first we have to see bone conduction or air conduction differences using Rinne's test. So by using 2 methods, first we make vibration, we use tuning fork here. Okay, and tuning fork of 256 and 512 Hertz frequency. So we make it vibrate and then attach on mastoid process. Okay, for bone conduction, and see till the point the subject is hearing the sound. As he stops hearing, we have to bring it from here to here near pinna, in front of pinna, for air conduction assessment. If we hear the sound, that means AC, air conduction, is better than DC. Okay, so how to interpret Rinne's? So if Rinne's is positive, which is called normal, if he hear the sound here, okay, that means we call it AC, air conduction is better here. That means this condition is normal, and here normal condition is positive, mind it, unlike other tests. This is positive. Negative is when AC is less, means he don't hear any sound here. He will hear sound, he stops hearing sound, and if we bring here, they don't hear any sound. So that means AC is less, means bone conduction is more. Bone conduction is always more in one condition, when the air conduction is defective, because there are a lot of extra noises in environment. Okay, and if all those noises are stopped, we hear some sound very louder, right? So that is called masking effect. If this is affected, if this conductive deafness occur, that means there is all environmental noise are masked, that's why bone conduction increases, right? So this is the condition where we have conductive deafness. So that's how we interpret Rinne's test. Okay, next coming to Weber's test. Okay, so Weber's test are basically, we attach the touch here the vibrating tuning fork, and we see for lateralization on both the side, whether they hear, the subject hear both the sound equal, or there is some sound louder here or there. Okay, so this way actually we have to interpret it. If bilateral equal, then it's normal. Okay, if there is one side lateralization, that means right side, this is louder, sound is louder, that means either we have that, what that mean basically, if this sound is right side is louder, what that mean, there is increase in bone conduction here, first thing. And what that mean according to Rinne's test, that means here there can be conductive loss, right? So there can be 2 assumptions based on this finding. We don't have to interpret directly, we have to assume here 2 conditions, and then we have to differentiate one of them using this test. So there can be either the same side conductive loss, as we have discussed, because of the masking effect, and if there is no masking effect, in that scenario sound can be louder in one more condition, where there is neural neural damage on other side. So ipsilateral conductive loss or contralateral neural loss. Now these are two assumptions which we have to test. So at last of video, after performing test, we'll see how to basically assume and how to then test using Rinne's test. Okay, so these are two tests. Then is Schaubeck test. Schaubeck test is basically the hearing test when basically subject bone conduction is tested by touching the tuning fork on mastoid process, and then compare this thing with the subject bone conduction. Okay, so this way we can actually assume that we have subject hearing is compared with the this thing, subject examiner hearing is compared with subject hearing. Okay, this is also same ABC, absolute bone conduction. This is also same test, but provided the same test is done using plug. Air conduction is basically plugged here. So using air plug, basically when we block the air conduction, then we have to compare the bone conduction of two. So these are tests obviously most commonly used for assessing these two things, differentiating these two things are these two tests. So one by one, first we'll see how to perform and then we'll discuss the scenario. Hi. So first test is Rinne's test of hearing, in which unilaterally we have to assess whether air conduction is better or bone conduction is better. So what you'll do is you'll use tuning fork of 256 Hz or 512 Hz frequency, not lesser than that. That is used for vibration, right? So you have to hold it from stem. Okay, you have to vibrate the paunch by striking it on the bony surface of palm like this. Okay, and then you have to place on mastoid process of subject. Okay, he'll hear the sound, and until he'll hear, he have to raise the hand when he stop hearing the sound, and then you have to bring it for air conduction here toward pinna, right? Then he will hear the sound. If he don't hear, that means bone conduction is better. If he hear the sound here, okay, then AC is better, air conduction is better, which is normal, and Rinne is positive. Okay, we'll see applied later on. Next test is Weber's test. Weber's test is for lateralization of sound. So how to perform this test? You have to again make it vibrate and place at center of forehead. You can place here as well. So you will see whether the sound is heard on both the ears, both the side, equally or not. If it's lateralized to one side, okay, that means either the same side is having conducting loss or other side have some neural damage. Okay, we'll discuss this later on. Okay, so this is Weber's test. Next is Schaubeck test. Schaubeck test is basically when bone conduction of examiner is compared with bone conduction of subject. How? Again, we have to make it vibrate and place on mastoid process of subject. When he stops hearing, then the examiner will place on his or her mastoid process and see whether bone conduction he is hearing or not. If he hear, that means bone conduction of subject is less or decreased. Okay, so that can be sensory neural loss, or bone conduction is increased in conductive loss. So we'll discuss some conditions related to this to diagnose the condition. Last test is ABC, absolute bone conduction test. That means that is same as Schaubeck test, but with blocking the air conduction here. Okay, so air conduction is blocked. That means it's purely bone conduction which we are testing here. So we are preventing the masking effect of air conduction. So that is ABC test, absolute bone conduction test. Now we'll discuss everything related to these tests and how to diagnose that, whether the loss is sensory neural or conductive loss. Okay, so now we have seen how to perform the test and what is meaning of the test. Now, saying discussing two examples, we'll try to learn and try to assess which type of loss it is, whether it's conductive loss or whether it's sensory neural loss. Okay, so let's see. So these are two conditions. You have performed these tests. So the first condition is when you have a Rinne's positive bilaterally. Okay, so left side and right side Rinne's is positive. Positive, what that mean? AC is better than BC. Again, AC is better than BC, right? So this is the meaning, right? This way you have to interpret. And the second condition is Weber's is right. Right oriented. What that mean? Right side is more. More means high bone conduction. So here we are talking about bone conduction. So increased bone conduction here. we have more sound on right side, lateralized to right. So what that mean? What that mean to you? If high sound this side, that means increased bone conduction is always in which condition? Whenever there is conductive deafness. Okay, conductive deafness, which can be either because of wax collection, or middle ear pus can be, there can be inflammation, otitis media, or there can be there are ossicles which can be inflamed, otosclerosis can happen. So these are the conditions which cause conductive deafness. See, okay, so we have to now learn that if conductive deafness there is, so there will be increased bone conduction. We have seen that, right? So here, if there is increased bone the conduction, that means this either there can be same side conductive deafness. We are just assuming here, mind it. So either there be ipsilateral conductive deafness or contralateral neural deafness. So we can have either increase in bone conduction because of conductive deafness. Second thing, there can be high sound this side because there is less sound that side, less hearing, means hearing is affected because of neural loss, right? So there can be opposite side neural loss. So how to then distinguish which condition is true among these? By Rini's test. Rini's test will have. So do you think on right side we have, when we performed Rini's test, AC is better, and this proves that there is no conductive deafness, right? Same. So this is wrong. That means the real answer is this one, the opposite side neural loss with this condition, right? Let's understand the second condition where you have Weber test right again. So right side oriented again. Again we have two conditions here. You can assume this, right? Right side conductive deafness, okay, and left side neural deafness. I hope this point is clear to you. Okay. Now again we have assumed two conditions and we have to find out which condition is true. So again we have second condition. By performing Rini's, we have to assess which condition it is. So according to Rini's, right side we have negative Rini's. And what that mean? Negative Rini's. That means air conduction is less than BC. And here it's AC is better than BC. So what that mean? So right side, when we talk about conductive deafness, so right negative means AC is less. What that mean? If AC is less, this is obviously explaining you that AC is less means bone conduction is high. Bone conduction is high always in conductive deafness. So this proves that this condition is right. We have the patient had conductive deafness. Okay. So this is the way how to differentiate between conditions, and using Rini's test and Weber's test, how we can differentiate between whether this condition is conductive loss or this condition is neural loss. So this way we can actually predict it and assess it. Okay. So these are the most common tests used for this purpose. I think you have understood the topic. If you have any query, you can comment below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.